Welcome back everyone to George James & Associates Research Tools channel. In this video, I'm going to show you what needs to be done regarding variables in which you're creating, like gender, where you don't have enough of certain observations. And this is unfortunate. Now, sometimes it could be that it's possible that there's just one gender fluid student. So let's count that really quickly. In the survey, and I suggest greatly that you do this, you shouldn't just put male, female. Okay? So just a quick lesson on gender and sex. Male and female are sexes, not genders. Gender goes beyond male and female. Okay? I don't care what your political ideology is. The fact of the matter is that more and more places are putting male, female, trans female, non-binary, gender fluid, all these different things in there. And so if you have a fair amount of people that are identifying as those other things, you need to capture that in your data. I don't care which side of the aisle you sit on politically. The reality is that there's a growing percentage of the population that identifies other than male or female. And so they're not going to feel comfortable if you answering your survey questions, if your survey just tells them male or female. For instance, if they're trans male, what do they put? Right? If they were born female and now they identify as male, and let's say they've had the surgery and everything, so they have male parts now, what are they supposed to put? So you need to expand your mind enough to capture you need to capture an accurate sample. And if you have people identifying beyond male and female, something else, you need to try your best to capture that. Now, in a lot of cases, what's going to happen, let's see. Right now, I haven't actually counted this. I think there's only like one. But let's see. So there's one student, one of the students is gender fluid, and everyone else so far is male, female. I'm just going to look really quickly and see. Is there anybody else that's not, that identified otherwise as male, female, other than male, female? I don't think so, but it's important to just manually scan through here. Now, we'd be doing this otherwise if there were more than just a couple hundred observations, right? If we had like thousands of observations, I wouldn't be eyeballing it like this. Okay, so it looks like there's just one gender fluid. Now, that's unfortunate if there are more people that they just don't want to put, even though I told them from the beginning, hey, no one's going to know who you are in the data set. I'm going to remove the names. I'm going to redact the names, which you can see I did right here. But because of what's going on politically, a lot of people don't feel comfortable saying something other than male, female, which is very sad. It's sad that we live in a country and in a world where a lot of people don't feel comfortable, even in an anonymous survey, expressing and accurately, to the best of their knowledge, reporting their actual characteristics. Right? Like gender or ethnicity or race or whatever it is. So what do we do? Okay, so politics aside, what do we do when there's only one or two or very, very few observations like this? A couple of things you can do. You can, I mean, for now we're gonna leave this here in the what is your gender? We're just gonna create a gender column, right? So we're gonna just create a gender column over here. And because gender, so the vast majority of our stuff is male, female, right? And so for ease, and I'm just trying to think in advance for the regression, you're going to want as many dichotomous variables and continuous variables as possible. Why? Because you don't have to create dummy variables if they're not categorical. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put male, and this is we're going to lose this level of granularity for this one observation, because this person is going to be non-male, just like this person is non-male. Now, it's unfortunate, but that's what you have to do, or else your model is going to come back as misspecified, and the results are going to be wonky and that type of stuff. If you try to keep this, if we made this categorical with this few observations inside that third bin, that's what's going to happen. It's going to wreck your data output. So what you need to do then is you need to make this dichotomous. If there's really only two answers, except for like one or two observations, there's basically two different answers, then you make it dichotomous. So in this case, I'm just going to do male. I could just as easily do female, right? But I'll just do male. And then, so it's going to be if this equals male, right? In we would put that in quotes because it's a string, it's not a number. What's the value of that if it's true? Sorry, what's the value of it if it's true? It's 1, otherwise it's 0. Then we close and then hit enter. So when we drag it down, the second one here is not male, so this should be a 0. Cool. So we know we did it correctly. Now when it gets down here to this observation that wasn't male or female, it's still not male, so therefore it should be a 0. So now I'm going to drag this down the rest of the way. And as you can see here, it is 0. Male, 1, anything other than male. Anything other than male. They could have put elephant in here. I mean, they couldn't because it was multiple choice, but you know what I'm saying. They could have put anything in here. And, right, they could have put blue in here. And it would show up as a 0. And that's how you deal with gender, and that's how you deal with variables in which you don't have enough bins to create 3 or more categories. If we did, this would be a categorical variable. I would have had to create n-1 dummy variables. But fortunately, I didn't have to do that. I mean, fortunate in the sense of less work for me, but unfortunate again. I really hope that in our data set, there was only really one student who didn't identify as male, female. It's very sad to think about all the students, and I don't know because they're not going to identify, to think of all the potential students who don't identify as male or female, but because of what's going on, because of just the current state of the world, they felt uncomfortable identifying as such, even in a survey that was going to be anonymous. So that's all that I have today. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.